Alright, what is going on YouTube? Casual Elite Gaming here, coming at you with a deck profile. Now, granted, this might be a slightly incomplete deck profile, unfortunately. The only card that I'm really missing from here is, of course, a couple extra deck monsters that are coming in the mail. Of course, I will do an updated deck profile on that. And also, I believe I'm missing the double evolution pill, which I will have to order online at some point at a later time. But right now, this is what I currently have because I've been kind of like out of the game for a little bit, so this is me pretty much just getting back into it for pretty much the most part. Um, Also, if you guys do are like subscribed to my channel and you do watch my content, you will see me do. If you've probably already seen it or you haven't seen it yet, I do have a video of this deck, not this exact build, but just this deck on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So you could probably go check that out if you want to get a more concrete deck build on like what I'm pretty much looking for as a whole. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first up, let's start off with my monsters. Sorry, just getting this situated. Okay. So it's kind of like out of, there you go. Alright. So, first up, I do run the big boy, the new guy. Sorry, what's his name here? It looks like Meteorus? Meteorlotus or Meteorus? Meteorus, Meteorus. I do run 3 of him. I do have Zeno. He is coming in the mail. He is one of the only other ones I am missing monster wise. But this guy, he's actually pretty good. You pop 2 monsters in your hand, of course, dinosaur type monsters in your hand, and yeah. So, and if you have babies, you can just pretty much pop the 2 babies and pretty much just get him out. Of course, activate their effects. You chain his effect last, and pretty much send a normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. So just in case, if he's ever sent to the graveyard, either just by destruction, by card effect, or by battle, you can bring him back by returning 1 normal monster from your graveyard to the deck. So that's pretty much all he does. I like him just for the simple fact that he is a 35 beater, just like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He is not the only boss monster I run, and of course in this deck. So that is the first guy that I run. Second main boss monster of the deck is pretty much Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I mean, there's really nothing to say about him. He's pretty much self-explanatory. Of course, no, to anybody who's not really familiar with dinos, or you're not really keen on how dinos work. Pretty much, this guy, you either use a double evolution pill, or you would use his own effect. You would banish 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard, pretty much out of play, and you would summon him to the field. And then his secondary effect would be you would pop a dinosaur type monster either in your hand or on your field to flip all monsters your opponent controls and face down defense position. And then basically he can, once you enter battle, he can attack all monsters opponent controls, and then each one he attacks in defense. Basically he sends it to the graveyard without flipping, and your opponent takes 1,000 points of damage. So that's pretty much it on him. Next up, of course, next main guy of the deck. Sorry, just got is Soul Eating Aviraptor. I do run 3 of these. Now I know everybody is running, the whole scrap engine. I am not running scrap engine in here, so that is one of those things where I try to keep it as pure as possible, or I just try to use stuff that's pretty much within the archetype of dinosaur as a whole. So pretty much what he does is you summon him out to the field, plop him in the field, either off a baby or just by normal summoning. Either way, he gets this effect off. And you can add a dinosaur type monster. I believe it's level 4 or lower. Sorry, you can see that there. Yep, level 4 or lower from your deck to your hand, or you can send one from deck to grave. So usually, if you're going to send one from deck to grave, it might be a normal dino, or you might send one of your other monsters, your other searchers. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. Your miscellaneous. I'm sorry. I just had, I can't remember the name for some reason for life of me. But yeah. So I mean, pretty much. Oh yeah. I'm so sorry. And his other effect is you can pop one dinosaur type monster other than himself on the field. Now, usually, if you're running the field spell, you can attempt to pop the token that is summoned. So if you summon him while you have the field spell, you pretty much get a token to your opponent's side of the field, and then you can use his effect as long as you control another dinosaur type monster besides himself. You can actually try to target the token to destroy it to bring back a monster from your graveyard. But with the field spell, you would just pop a monster from your deck instead, which of course would be a baby. So, pretty much as this guy right here, Petit Pteranodon, that's what I call him. If I butcher the name, I really don't care. Petit Pteranodon, that's what I'm calling him. So pretty much this is one of your first babies. He does level 4 or higher when he's destroyed either, by card effect from anywhere, deck, hand, field, doesn't matter. And you basically level 4 or higher, he summons to the field. Next up is Baby Cirrus, same thing, except for he does the opposite. He does level 4 or lower. You can pop him from anywhere, hand, deck, or field. And yeah, they pretty much sums him up. Okay. I got, was it Archosaurus? Pretty much he is your, you summon him out. If you have a baby in your hand, you can pop the baby in your hand. He's your searcher. You can search a double evolution pill from your deck to your hand there. So you guys can see that. You can see that. Just a little bit of a glare. So sorry, there we go. So yeah, so you can add double evolution pill from your deck to your hand, or what is it? Oh, okay, yep, just the yep. Was a beast wing beast or some shit. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I keep saying I'm so sorry. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've done a deck profile like this. All right, so then also next up, I do run the two kaiju. Was it Dogoron? Do run two of him. Usually people run him at 1. I like him at 2. I'm with this deck. I'm mainly just going for the pretty much the stall aspect. I don't want to say stall aspect. Pretty much basically going second aspect of the deck. You pretty much go second, let your opponent do their thing, and then you pretty much just break their board, and then you try to go for game. All right. So next up, I do run 2 of the Jirac Tyrannus. Pretty much, I just run him just for the simple fact that he's searchable and he's fire. And I do run the Fire True King in here. I also ordered the Earth True King as well. I believe he's back on 3. Don't quote me on that. I would have to double check the ban list. But last time I checked the ban list, which is maybe about a couple weeks ago, I did see on there that he was pretty much off the ban list. So I am going to be running this guy, at least for now, until I get my my Xeno. I might swap him out for Xeno, or I might just add in Xeno and keep him in as well, because he actually has a pretty good effect. So pretty much each time you destroy a monster by battle, sorry, let that focus for a minute. So you contribute 1 dinosaur type monster, and then he gains 500 when you do that. And then when you destroy a monster by battle and pretty much send it to your graveyard, he also gains an additional 300. Now that attack point gain every single time is permanent. So each attack point gain he gets is permanent. So he is level 7, and I do run a 1-star tuner. I think I run at least one or two. Oh no, I guess I don't. I thought I had them in here, but I must have misplaced it somewhere. But yeah. So I mean, I was gonna say, I was gonna say that I run a level 8, but I guess I don't. I run level 9s in here, but yeah. But he's pretty much just good for that extra damage. You know, you could tribute something like, okay, well, I want this in my graveyard, so I can bring out Ultimate Conductor, and I don't, or you may not even run double evolution pillage. You can be like, okay, I have him on the field. I need another one to be able to banish 2 dinos out of play to pretty much summon out, you know, your Ultimate Conductor, right? So you could use his effect, tribute. He gains 500 attack, which would make him 3k. And then you bring out your Ultimate Conductor. If he attacks over a monster, he gets additional 3 with 33. And then he can pretty much become a heavy beater over time. You know, so but pretty much moving along here. For my normal monsters, I do run 2 Cerbersaurus and 2 Mego Masher X. Sorry if I said that wrong. Pretty much just for my Transcendosaurus guys that I'm going to be running. Yeah, there's nothing really. I'm sorry. I do run. Sorry, I run 2 and 3. Jesus God, what's going on with me today? So I run 2 Cerberus, 3 Megalo. Pretty much going into the non-dinosaur type monsters now. I do run 2 lava golems. Actually, zoom in there a little bit there so you can see that. I actually should have did that from the beginning, but it's okay. There we go. Yeah. So I do run 2 of him. Pretty much, like I said, going second. Let my opponent set up their board. If I have this guy in my hand, just pretty much just tribute 2 of their monsters that they definitely don't want to be tributed. And most of the time, they really can't stop it. So it's kind of like a kaiju, but you're just getting rid of 2 monsters. Okay, next up, I said I'd run True King. Was it Vanisher? Jesus. I'm not having a good day. So, yeah, so I do run the Vanisher guy. Pretty much what he does is if you're running any fires in the deck, which I do have quite a few, you can banish, when I'm saying not banish, you can destroy 2 monsters. Pretty much they're fire, one's not fire. He doesn't gain an additional effect. But if you pop 2 monsters that are fire or tribute, you pretty much can banish 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard or on their field. Okay, next up, I do run 3 Ash Blossom in the deck. Now, usually I am super anti-hand trap. I'll run stuff like Mind Drain so that you can't use hand traps. And I said, you know what? I said, at least for the deck profile, I'll throw them in. You know, they're fire, and they're a tuner. So if I happen to, you know, have a level 6 on the field that I pretty much can't do much with, I can at least use him as a tuner, synchro for a level 9 synchro, and also, of course, it is a very useful hand trap. It does stop a lot of stuff that you don't want going on the field. So Next up, I do run, and people are going to be like, well, why does he run this? And I'll let you know. So pretty much I do run 2 of the Jet Synchron, just for some effect. I do run some, I was going to say some level 7s for level 8, but I'll probably throw in a couple level 8s at a later time, and I'll do an update video on that. But, yeah, I do run it. I do believe there's a couple level 8s in here that I do have for my main deck. So yeah, I can use this to synchro to a level 9. And I do also run some level 9 Exceed monsters, which I will get into in a moment. Or in a little bit. So pretty much you could just pop him out of your hand with this guy, with your Vanisher, right? If you have this and like another monster in your hand, let's say like Ash Blossom, right? So you have this guy in your hand, an Ash Blossom in your hand, and then you pretty much pop those 2 for Vanisher. Pop them out of the way, get him to the field, and then you could discard a card out of your hand, bring him back to the field, and then if you have a level 8 on the field as well, then you could just synchro for 9 and then go into your Exceed plays or whatever else you're going to do. So that pretty much sums that up. I always like to give a little bit of like an explanation to when I'm doing certain things, or I run certain things, you know, just so that people understand why I'm doing it. Because you can easily get off Vanisher's effect. You banish a card, and then after that you go to your Exceed plays, you know. So next up are my one-ofs. I do run one. Of course, the last bit of my deck here for the one-ofs. I do run 1 miscellaneous. As far as I know, from what I heard for the ban list, he is on 1. Last time I checked, I really thought he was on 3. I guess they hit him again because he was just too much for the format. I do run another Kaiju. I run Thunder King, and last one of I do run was it Pegatrops? Prankratrops. I do know that he's on 2, but unfortunately I only have 1 as far as I know. I only have to search around for a little bit, scrounge it up maybe. But that's pretty much it for the monsters. Going into my spell and traps. First up, I run 2 Raigeki. Sorry about that. Keep saying sorry over and over. Alright, so yeah, I run 2 Raigeki. Pretty much self-explanatory. Nothing really to explain there. It's on 2. You might as well run it. If you have the money to buy it. I actually got these offline. I think they're roughly around 12 to 13 bucks. Not too bad. I believe these are like the super rare ones. You can see the little glow there. But yeah, it's about $12, $13. Basically, it just wipes all of your opponent's monsters and not your own. I prefer this over Dark Hole, just for the simple fact I am currently not running the Field Spell because this is a going second deck. Usually, if you're playing going first, you do run Dark Hole along with the Field Spell, Lost World Field Spell. But yeah, pretty much that's it on that. Next up, I do run 3 Fossil Dig. It searches out anything that you need Dino related. Next up, I run triple Book of Equips, just in case you're running up against a deck that has multiple negates. Now, I can't tell you how many times I played online on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and this card has come in clutch. because a lot of times I would have to use this to bait my opponent's negate that first negate. The one that can just pretty much negate anything. I usually bait it with this, and then I use Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's effect, pop a card from my hand or my field, flip everything face down. I was thinking about using that one Mirror Force card that also flips everything face down, but I'm not really trying to run traps in here. Rather just run stuff that are kind of just like quick and easy. I can activate it when I need to. I don't have to set it and wait a turn. Alright, next up is kind of a doozy. Cycle of the Flame Kings. Right? Cycle of the Flame Kings. Hopefully there we go. There we go. Okay. Cycle of the Flame Kings. There we go. Pretty much this guy here, as you can see, pretty much what this does is you could target one fire monster you control, so pretty much it has to be on the field. But the good thing is you could target one fire monster in your graveyard, and you would destroy the first one, and then with the second one you could special summon from the graveyard. Now, this is only if I don't have any normal monsters in my graveyard, right? So if somehow my opponent DD Crows me, gets rid of my normal monster in my graveyard. Now, usually a lot of times with this kind of build, I'm really not worried about what my opponent's running. I'm worried about, okay, what backup plans do I have, like this, that can pretty much help me still get to my plays that I want to do. And if you're able to get to the plays you want to do and you're able to protect your field, of course that's the best you can, then you can pretty much still potentially, go for game and end your opponent. But now, to the point, is if I have this guy in my graveyard and my opponent decides to DD Crow me, okay, the only thing I'll have to do is just make sure I have another fire monster on my field. I activate, this and pretty much destroy a fire monster, bring him back to the field, and yeah, I'm golden. After that, pretty much golden. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much why I run it, just for the simple fact that. Oh, also too, is if for some reason, because I do run another card in here, but I'll get to that in a second. So then, let me just move on to the next card real quick. Okay, yeah, here it is. So I also run Owner Seal, and this would be to the point that I'm getting to right now. So Owner Seal, of course, all cards to return to the original owner upon activation. So this goes in great tandem with this, the cycle of the Flame Kings. And also goes in great tandem. Hold on, I'm gonna pull them out. Man. Alright, so with Lava Golem, right? So you got these three here. These three, it's a great combo. Especially if it's your turn. So you tribute your opponent's two monsters. And say it's the only two monsters they have. You tribute both their monsters. Summon this to their side of the field. You activate Owner Seal. And then from there, you can attack your opponent for 3k. And then this is a quick play card, guys. Activate this on him. Destroy him. Bring back him. Hit your opponent for additional 35. I mean, it's easy, guys. It's not hard. It's easy. You just gotta figure out. Okay, if I'm going into a fire format, how can I best utilize it? You know what I mean? Now this guy, I was first initially looking at him, I was like, well, all right, yeah, he's kind of cool. You know, you pop two, you bring him out, and then you send one dinosaur monster from your deck to your graveyard, and then it's like, okay, well now I can just. It doesn't have to be a normal monster. It could just be a dinosaur monster. Period. You know. So if you need something in the graveyard, you could just mill it with him. But to the point is, all right, you can pop two, get him out, mill your normal monster because that's what you're gonna do anyway. You can mill your normal monster, and then from there, you're gonna be like, okay, well now I can just do my plays, you know. But moving on to the traps, because that was the end of my spells. Moving on from there. I only run 2 traps in the deck. Well, 1 trap, because I run 2 copies of it. And that is going to be evenly matched. So usually a lot of times, what some people might do is kind of risky. It's kind of risky. You would pretty much skip your own battle phase if you go second. You don't even you go into your battle phase, but you don't actually do anything. You know, at this point, you're not even summoning a monster or anything. Now, at this point, if your opponent's field is so established that you know for a fact if you do any combos, they're just gonna run over you. And believe me, there's some decks nowadays where you activate a card or you summon a monster, and then next thing you know, your opponent's just playing during your turn, and you're just sitting there wait, isn't it my turn? Why are they playing during my turn? You know, it's like, and it will kind of feel like it's unfair, and it's okay. Well, at this point, if they're starting playing cards during your turn, and they're getting a bigger board during your turn, okay, well, I'll just wait till they're done. Enter my battle phase. You don't summon it. You don't make sure you don't summon anything. Enter my battle phase, and then from there, after your battle phase is over and you enter main phase 2, yeah, you can activate this straight from your hand. So once you activate that, your opponent's pretty much gonna have to wipe their board down to 1 card, because it basically has to go. It goes about cards that you control. So your opponent basically has to send cards from your field to their graveyard to equal the amount of cards you control in your field. So of course, while that process is going on, you're only going to have 1 card in the field, which is this. So you're gonna have to pretty much dim down their field to 1 card. So yeah, man, and then from there, after you're done, you could just pop off and do whatever you need to do. Of course, you won't be able to attack, but I mean that's kind of a little bit of a sacrifice you may have to make, depending on the situation. But yep, and pretty much extra deck. It's not very complete yet, but here's what I have so far. I am running 2 of the Vermilion Dragon mech. I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. It is a generic level 9. Nothing really too fancy about it, but he does have a particularly interesting effect. Pretty much, you could banish 1 tuner monster from your hand or graveyard, and then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Now, of course, also, sorry about that. Of course, he also has a another effect. If this secret monster, secret summon card is destroyed by a card effect, and sent to the graveyard, target 1 of your banished tuners and add it to your hand, which is kind of cool, right? So, I'm sorry, I originally said discard. I meant to say banish. You can banish 1 tuner. Okay, so you can get rid of the tuners if you don't need them anymore. You can pop cards on the field. And I believe, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it to say about him. Next up, I do run one of the Phantom Fortress guys. He was originally part of your your Trish build, you would run Trish, and you would run what was it Dragon Guardians or Guardian Dragon World Legacy Guard World Legacy Guard Dragons. Oh my god, I just had to remember that for a second. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I run him just for the simple fact that he could pop a card. That's pretty much really it, really. Or yeah, so you can no, sorry, he banished cards. So yeah, that's pretty much it to say about him. And the last, of course, monster that I run for, at least for right now, my extra deck is the Earth Slayer. Pretty much, he is another generic. He's another generic Exceed monster. Sorry, zoomed in a little bit too much. Pretty much what he does is, when this card destroys opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, pretty much you could equip it to this card as a material. And then you could detach any number of materials from this card, target that many cards from the field, and destroy them. So he is pretty much your Alta stuff, or you could just bait negates off of him if you wanted to. Earth Slayer, he's actually pretty good. It's one of the very few generic low rank 9 Exceed monsters that I found. There are some rank 10s. I know there's one that's maybe a spider that might be rank 9, but this one is like the one where it's kind of like, if I'm looking to clear my opponent's field as quickly as possible, as sufficiently as possible, this is your go-to. At least for dinos, at least for me, because I do have some level 9s in there. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the deck. And yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much else to say, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the deck profile. You know, my deck is kind of huge because I like to double sleeve my stuff. Let me zoom out for you. There you go. And here we go. Let's zoom in slightly. I know it's been a while since I've done stuff like this. Alrighty. Well, with that said, guys, I might edit this little part out later, but with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Also, activate notification bells so you can receive future content from me. And with that said, guys, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.